What's up, everybody? This is Kyron, Mr. Thursday, talking about Pride today on Trans POC. I would like to thank all the guys for coming up with this topic for this week because, of course, everybody views Pride in a different way. Don't look at my pimples, I'm breaking out. I'm going through puberty again. But I just want to go into the different things I view with Pride, identifying as a trans man, identifying as a black man, and things like that. Pride for me is like a catch-22 as far as the Pride opportunities in Pittsburgh. There is Pittsburgh Pride that happens in early June or early towards the middle of June. And then there is Pittsburgh Black Pride that happens at the end of July. So those are two of the main events surrounding Pride activities in Pittsburgh. And unfortunately this year I didn't get to go to both of them. Just because I was busy. Pittsburgh Black Pride, my family reunion was going on, and I didn't get to go out for that. And for Pittsburgh Pride, I honestly can't remember why I didn't go out. I think it's because I was broke, to be honest. I don't remember. But how I view Pride, being from Pittsburgh and identifying as who I am, is, like I said, is a catch-22. I am very thankful for events like Pride, for my brothers and sisters who identify under the LGBTQIA umbrella, to have that moment to shine, to have pride in being who they are, regardless of people's ill feels and judgment against them for loving the same sex, getting in relationships with the same sex, as far as self-identity, identifying as femme, stud, boy, AG, butch, trans, cross-dressers, drag kings, queens, all of that. So I think it's a good thing to have those opportunities and to celebrate those opportunities in many cities and many towns across this world. However, for Pride in regards to myself, as far as both Pittsburgh Black Pride and Pittsburgh Pride, I feel as though the trans aspect, as far as identifying as trans, it is underrepresented still. And it does bother me, as far as I would like Pride to be inclusive to everybody in the LGBTQIA community. And of course it's going to take time and awareness and things like that for the T and the Q and the I and A to really be recognized in many communities. So as identifying as black, I feel as though, at least in Pittsburgh, there's still, even though it's like an underlying situation, I believe there's a class divide in terms of pride. As far as Pittsburgh Pride, you'll see more white people there in regards to black people. You'll see more middle-aged and older folks that can, I don't want to assume they all can afford to go to all of the events, because a lot of the events do cost money, but some of them can, especially like mostly the white, cisgender, gay population. But as far as like people who identify like myself, as far as trans, being black, or under that identity umbrella, as far as like dressing, like identifying as female but dressing in male's clothing, or identifying as male and dressing in female clothing, things like that, I feel as though that comes into play as far as the ability to afford Pride, because there's still a lot of discrimination as far as employers and things like that occur in this city, in our country, and around this world. So in my eyes, if you think about it, for, say, a woman who identifies as a stud and dresses in men's clothing, sometimes they're not fully accepted in their workplaces or have the ability to get a job because they feel more comfortable wearing a suit and tie and identifying under that masculinity. Employers, bosses, hiring managers, things like that may look at that as being an issue to them obtaining a job for one reason or another. So, because of situations like that, I wish more Pride events were less money, or even if you're going to have events that are that cost money, also include events. I apologize. Include events that are free to the public, that give the opportunity to those who can't shell out $25 for that big Pride party, to go and also celebrate their Pride. So that's one of my disdains about Pittsburgh Pride, as far as money costs and things like that, because it's only going to get bigger, and it deserves in every right to be bigger, but to also be inclusive to all the economical differences, all the class differences, all the gender differences, the identity differences that occur. It feels like it needs to be more inclusive. And I also feel that way about Pittsburgh Black Pride, as identifying as a trans man. As far as Pittsburgh Black Pride, it seems to be more like you have your representative, like you have your gay male population, both femboy, however they may identify. You have your top or bottom. I don't really know, and I don't want to say the wrong thing, so I do apologize in advance. But you have that, you have your studs, you have your femmes as far as the females, and it seems like under the trans bubble, the T is still overlooked, but it seems like the T seems to only come into play in regards to the ballroom community, and how there are a lot of trans women in that community, and there's not a large amount of trans men who are in the ballroom community, especially in the Pittsburgh area. So, of course, there still needs to be more representation. And I know, as far as myself, I would love to represent that. But at that particular time, I had a previous engagement. But overall, as far as Pride, in Pittsburgh, the Pride theme was, "Will You Marry Me?" And in regards to DOMA and the Supreme Court ruling on that. It was before the Supreme Court ruling, but still, that was the theme of it. And we had Adam Lambert come and perform, and I heard it was a really awesome show and a really exciting time, regardless of the rain that happened. And I also heard Pittsburgh Black Pride was a very good time as well. So I hope to be more of a participant in Prides, not only in Pittsburgh, but also in different cities, because I would like to see the representation for the trans community, and for our voices to also be heard and not let the T be silenced. So that's my spiel on Pride. Thanks everybody for listening and tuning in. If you want to follow me at any time, follow Clubmaster with the 3 on Instagram, on Twitter, From Boy to Man on Tumblr. I know I don't post very much, so I'm starting to put my voice out there a little bit more. I know I'm usually strapped with time, and one exciting thing about me that's going on, I started my grad program, my MBA program, so I'm very excited. I had my first class this Tuesday, so it was very exciting. And of course, I look forward to chatting with you all next week when we get to that topic. And stay tuned for Friday and Saturday. Leopoldi. I hope I pronounced your name right. I have to look it up and see if I did. But Leo for now, the short version. I will catch on to it soon, and I apologize in advance. And Neo. And also check in with Caden, Ting, and Phoenix. No particular order for earlier in the week. So thanks for tuning in to Mr. Thursday. Sorry I'm like kind of half naked. Hope I don't get in trouble for that. But as always, peace, love, hair grease. Good night, all.